Hey, yo, here we are, locked in. A little post-draft. Whew. Man. Anything good happen? Who was locked in on that? Mac Jones. Yeah, shocker there, huh? Trey area, ready to roll. Everybody coming in hot. Appreciate you. Smash like. Do what you do. Make sure I sound all right. Hit me with your favorite emoji. You know the drill. Yeah, we got some storylines for sure. Obviously, I think my attention obviously went with what the 49ers did at 3. I think that really changed, not necessarily changed anything. I think it just, once we got off the Mac Jones storyline, it was interesting to see how everything would kind of fall into place. Man, the offense really took the lead there with a bunch of weapons taken off the board once the first 3 quarterbacks got there, and then it was just about finding where the 2 other quarterbacks were going to land. It's going to be fascinating to see how this thing whole shakes out. But man, that was fun. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch that much of the back end of it. We'll see where guys are at on tomorrow. But my goodness. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I ever thought the Mac Jones thing to San Francisco was a real thing. It sure sounds like it was to a certain degree. It'll be fascinating to kind of hear the stories about what comes out, about what the determining factors were for why San Francisco did what they did. But I mean, really, only time will tell. I think it'll be interesting to see where all these guys do and how they shake out. I mean, playing quarterback in New England has got a track record for being pretty successful. So I always think it's strange when Belichick and Saban hook up for picks with Alabama guys, just because you know that how in high regard they think of each other and communicate and all those things. So obviously they've got to feel good with Mac Jones, but personally, obviously excited to see how it shakes out in Chicago. My goodness, gonna be fun for the Bears fans on so many different levels. See who we got in here. We got some friendly faces. Appreciate you all checking in. Shane, Mike. I mean, it's hard to be too mad. I will say this. It's hard to be too mad and getting passed over to the 11th pick. I mean, I get it. You want to go be the first guy. Feel kind of frustrated that San Francisco doesn't go your way if you're Justin Fields, but still, pick number 11 is not necessarily, slipping, in my opinion, that much. I mean, I feel like I just became a Bears fan tonight. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, I'm excited to watch the 49ers with Trey Lance. I really am. I think I've been pretty explicit about what I thought was just a really tough prospect to be able to give a clear-cut take on, just because the kind of gap from what we've seen him do and play. But my goodness, got a bunch of talent and can certainly do so many different things, and is not that prototypical. Not that he can't be the prototypical guy from the pocket, but just also adds that other dimension of being able to run the rock. Strong, powerful arm. Just going to be exciting to see how he develops in San Francisco, and certainly got an opportunity to walk right in there, compete, and get a chance to play for an organization that was, a few plays away from winning the Super Bowl not too long ago. Pretty fired up. Anthony Twombly. Favorite pick of the draft other than Fields? I would probably say the 49ers. I think I had, in my mind, Fields and Trey Lance were kind of the 2 guys that I was most intrigued about. I think they potentially both might have the highest ceilings out of all those guys. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is right there with him, but just kind of the unknown quantities of Trey Lance, I think, are fascinating, and it's going to be fun to hear kind of the storyline with, how the kind of 49ers came to make that decision. Oh, man. Delusional Pats fan. Ba-boom. I saw some funny stuff online about Bill Belichick having a type at quarterback. Oh, man. Got the Bears crews are rolling in deep. Got the bear down all over the place. Man, that was fun. I mean, I was a little surprised with some of their, I'll be honest, this isn't wide receiver school, right? So I don't do quite as much in-depth stuff with the wide receivers, but just to see the guys come off the board like they did, kind of paired with their quote-unquote college quarterback. Cool, weird. I can't imagine that went into the thinking and the process for these organizations, but maybe it did. Fascinated to see, how those types of things shake out. But man, just the quarterbacks 5 in the first round, not all, I think for me, the most intriguing ones are just the back end 3. Patriots with Mac Jones, being able to stay there, get the guy that quote unquote they wanted there in the first round. The Bears getting Justin Fields just outside the top 10, and then Trey Lance. I mean, it really, that third pick to me really kind of set the whole thing kind of in order for the rest of the round. It was interesting. I thought that there were some potential different plays there in the first 10 as far as maybe what Denver would do, maybe what Atlanta would do. I think obviously Atlanta's Matt Ryan's going to be pretty excited about having Pitts there, but man, some fun stuff. It will be, the Trey Lance thing, it's crazy to me that a decision like that potentially can define an organization for years and maybe careers of guys that are I think John Lynch might be a Hall of Fame player. So things like that are just craziness to me. But boom, Richard, appreciate it. What you got? We got almost hanging out with almost 200 of our closest friends. Give me a little boom. Richard, I don't know if I will ever forgive my Broncos for not grabbing Fields. If we don't land Rodgers, that's it. Yeah, that's the other kind of underlying storyline. Aaron Rodgers having an amazing day today and just hijacking this sucker. We'll see what that shakes out as. It was awkward to see those Packers executives in that look like motel room at the end of the draft. Who knows? Denver might be the ones that come out of this thing looking the best if they end up finding a way to get Aaron Rodgers. But what is it? Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater off the top of my head in Denver. Oh man, bang bang. I feel like the Niners and the Bears fans are feeling pretty good. Not sure, it's one of those things where unfortunately, not everybody can be the winner of these drafts, and only time will tell. But, if I'm just looking at potential, and that's really all we're looking at and trying to project what guys potentially will be able to do and do it quickly, I think the 49ers are obviously going to be at the front of the story. But, man, what happens with the Bears and the Patriots here pretty quickly is going to be another element that's pretty cool. What's the cat's name in Chicago? I shouldn't shoot. Ryan Pace. Has he gotten a chance to draft 2 first-rounders? It's craziness to me. Craziness. Scuba, bro. What's good? So, are the Jets finally on the path to recovery? Maybe. I think they need more help than necessarily, 2 good players in the first round, building that offensive lineup. I don't know. I personally am fascinated to see Zach Wilson in a different scenario than what he was in college. And not that Trey Lance was playing at the highest level of competition. I get that. But Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and I know Mac Jones had a small sample size of 1 year, but they're playing at the elite of the elite competition, and it's not the easiest thing. Granted, I get it, ACC, whatever. Okay, fair. But Zach Wilson, yes, he makes some great throws and has some off-platform stuff, but there's also some nice pockets, and he's not getting smacked like he will in that division. And it just will be, I'm fascinated to see. I'm pulling for him. I love his throwing mechanics. I love how he delivers the ball, but that's going to be tough. It's going to have some adversity in a really tough environment. It's going to be fascinating to see. Justin J. Bones Statler. Whew. Denver passing on Fields at 9. I know it already kind of burns, doesn't it? It feels like a little in the throat. I don't know. If I was a Denver fan, I'd be bummed on a number of different levels. I mean, only time will tell, but you sure hope it's not one of those. I mean, things where I think the easier one is like, passing on Watson, passing on Mahomes. Not Mahomes is the extreme outlier, but you get an opportunity to potentially get a guy like that. Now, obviously, not everybody thinks as highly of him as I do. Obviously, 10 other teams don't. And, I still think he brings Justin Fields' skill set compared to what the skill set of the quarterback position in Denver is right now would be an upgrade. And so why they pass on him is something those guys have to answer with. I personally thought that he would be called there, but thought he'd be called at number 3 too. So there you go. Oh man, we're getting close to the special 3. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Do me a favor, continue to hit that like. Keep the questions coming in here hot. I'll see how long I can make it. My goodness. That felt long to me. What was up with how long it took for like the first couple picks? Was I just expecting it to like start on time or something, or was that just me? Whew. How many of the 5 QBs taken in the first round do you think will start week 1? Shane Cram. That's a good question. Man, do I have to take that 100 off there, or is that always on there? Let's see if I can do it. There it is. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. I'm going to probably say Trey Lance. I think they probably all 5 start. Maybe not Mac Jones, but I don't know. Pick 15. I'm comfortable saying 4 of 5. I'd say potentially not Trey Lance, potentially not Mac Jones. That's a good question. The delay was brutal, right? Will, what's going on? Maybe that is how it always goes, and I'm just don't watch it. That's fair. That's probably true. And then what was up with the chair? Did I miss the story with the chair? Like I thought it would be, I don't know, missing something. For a while, we had it on mute, and I was playing wiffle ball, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't catch a whole lot of the teens. Once Mac Jones came off the board, I figured Kellen Mond was not close. The all caps Vic in NoCal. It's not gonna work, homie. You gotta know the drill. 355 of our closest friends checking in. My goodness. Now is the time. Y'all got any questions? Keep these things pumping. We'll see how long I can go here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty, just like the rest of y'all, pretty tired and locked in from that thing. Did you think the chair was funny? Did I miss the chair thing? I mean, it's just his chair from the last year, right? I always think it is weird, and I didn't pay that much attention to it this year, maybe because not everybody was there at the draft, but like the whole like bro hug, like awkward thing. Did anybody like go in with the elbow or anything, or nothing to do with the elbow? I don't know. I'm not double vaxxed or not. I'm not going in there for that bear hug with that cat. Movie talks. What do you think Mon will fall to? I don't know. I hope I honestly don't like do it like draft round. I just think like who's next off the board, and to me it's Mond or Trask. Richard, bruh. Cheers to that. This beverage of choice is Coronado Bruco CBC, and this is Orange Avenue. Same one I was hitting in the, not the exact same one, but same beer that I was hitting in the pre-draft. It's a good local Bruco. Big fan of it. It's a kind of a, I'm not a huge fruit beer guy. There's no fruit in the beer, but it definitely tastes like citrusy. It's a nice summer beer. It was hot today here. Good beach day. Man, the Bears fans and the 49er fans, I feel, just are on like a different level. Ismael Romo, is Trey Lance a good pick? I think he is. I think either one of the picks, Trey Lance or Justin Fields at that spot. Both were good picks. I really think that the 49ers probably agreed with that, and they just thought Trey Lance was better. Again, for what I do here, it's almost impossible to know or to have a good feel, and I would be disingenuous if I said that I knew for sure that Trey Lance was this or that, just because I haven't seen him in 18 months. All the film on Trey Lance is old, the vast majority of it. So anything that tells you that the film shows that he's significantly better than Justin Fields, I'm probably not going to buy that, just because I've seen all the snaps, and there's only so many snaps. And so they obviously think that the projection of it, the growth over the COVID year, those types of things, what it looks like for his ceiling is higher than Justin Fields. And again, the other thing that I think is interesting, and I've always thought is interesting, is Shanahan knows Justin Fields. They've been at camps before together in like the QB collective. They know him. They've visited with him. Multiple coaches on that staff know him. So for them to pass on him, they either knew something, didn't like something, or just really like Trey Lance. And it might just be that they really like Trey Lance better. But when you go to those types of camps, there's an opportunity for informal, not awkward get-togethers and like weird icebreakers. It's like real time where you get to see how people interact and all those types of things. So for them to pass on him, they had a reason. Obviously, they make a lot of money to make those decisions. So now they get to own it, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Justin J. Bones, loaded question. Maybe a repeat. How would you rank 2020 and 2021 QBs? Ooh, that's a good question. I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you, straight up. I think Joe Burrow would be right at the top just because of that magical year he had. But it would be hard for me to put anybody ahead of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. That's just what I think ceiling-wise. And I think Trey Lance is right in there. Joe Burrow certainly would be right at the top of that conversation, though, for sure. 125p. Have no idea how much money that is, but thank you. What do you think is the biggest reason for Fields dropping from second-ranked QB to fourth? I don't know if there's one specific thing. I think it's a combination of things. I think it's Zach Wilson had an amazing year is probably the number one thing. Probably also why I would have inserted Mac Jones if he would have been picked third there. And then I think Trey Lance is just projects potentially to have a higher upside or ceiling and be a little bit more, I don't know if more is the right word, but just they must think that he has a higher ceiling. I mean, that's the nicest way I can put it. I think Trey Lance is a little younger, a little bigger, but, are those, reasons to make that decision? No. It's got to be the collective, all those traits, characteristics, skill sets, projections, ceilings, those types of things, all layered up together in like a nice little burrito that they think is better than Justin Fields. And from the information that we have, or like the general public has just with the film, I think it would be hard to make that case. But that's why they do all these deep dives, and that's why they have this offseason and opportunity to visit with these guys to make those calls. Whew. Kincaid, you got to at least give me the night. When do I start to work on the next draft class? Probably next week. There's some guys that I definitely want to take a peek at. So we'll get into the next week probably pretty quickly, just because I'm fascinated to watch a couple different offenses that we haven't gotten a chance to see this offseason, this draft cycle. Eugene Park, ba-boom. I see you, Shane, too. Who is the most ready to start week one of all the QBs? I think the safer pick would be to say Mac Jones. I probably think Trevor Lawrence is probably just as locked in. I would say Justin Fields as well. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence to me are the most dynamic of that group. I think the easiest choice in that group would probably be Mac Jones, just because I think what Alabama asked him to do with what New England most likely will ask him to do will be the most similar. Not that Jacksonville and Chicago won't be similar to what those guys ran in college, but I just think it'd be a little bit different. I think those teams, the Patriots, and maybe even the 49ers, to be honest with you, they're just better. So I'd rather start on a better team. It's certainly going to make you look better, as opposed to, not that Zach Wilson isn't ready to start. That team, to me, is just going to struggle a lot more than, quote unquote, say, whoever's playing quarterback for the 49ers. We got over 400 of our closest friends checking in. I appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Keep these things going. We usually do a live every Monday evening. Do me a favor. If you haven't signed up for the free quarterback school course, check out the link in the description. 6 courses, 6 videos. Send it to you every weekend. Free, easy. Again, I appreciate the support. Swissy141. Ba-boom. What do you think of the Broncos passing on the QBs at 9? Want to hear some speculation. Swissy, you missed the start of this live, but I'll give you a quick debrief. I personally think it's a mistake. I think that they would have upgraded the position significantly if they would have went with Justin Fields. It's just my opinion that he's better than Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater across the board, and that it would be an upgrade, and an upgrade at the most important position in football, in sports, is an important step, and something hopefully that they don't have to answer for the rest of their career. Hey-o, Maisha. You got to stop that, Maisha. Oh, man, Carlos coming in hot. Holy moly. Hopefully that's, I don't know what ARS is. Maisha, if you owned a team and you had the first pick tomorrow, who would it be and why? I'm assuming you mean from this draft. And for me, it would have been Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence would have been right there. And to be honest with you, I probably would have done a lot more work on that question if I really had to answer that in real life. But I just think Justin Fields has the most unique, highest upside traits. I don't know. I love the speed. I love the toughness. I think he's fun to watch. I'm fascinated to see what happens in Chicago. Carlos, hi JT, what's up? Watching this draft was awesome. Which team do you think got the best QB for their system? Greetings from Argentina. Greetings, Carlos. Argentina, love it. Love the international vibe. That's a good question. I'm probably not the greatest person to answer this, just because I don't really think in fit like that. I would probably say, that's tough. I would say the easy answer, well, I would say Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, just because of what I think the game is evolving to and what their skill set looks like. I just don't like the answer of saying like the Jets and the 49ers are going to run that wide zone play action boot thing. All right. I think the game is evolving more towards kind of what the college space looks like as far as the RPO, the quarterback that can maybe be a little bit of a dual threat, run it a little bit, quarterback run game, stretch a defense all over the field with a big-time arm talent outside the numbers. Not that those other guys can't, but when you run that wide zone, under center, play action thing, it's just a different philosophical approach. And then the Patriots, who knows what they are. Offensively, I think for a long time, they evolved a bunch of different ways, from being a running team to a passing team to a spread team to a, Tom Brady-centric team to throwing the ball all over the place to being adaptable, and that's what they always do. So, who knows what that fit is for Mac Jones and Cam Newton. But for me, I would probably say Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, but that's just because, I think the most highly of those two. Ace Modonia, which non-QB has the biggest boom or bust potential or the biggest ceiling? You're coming to the non-QB school? I think the biggest boom is Kyle Pitts. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that guy, anytime that you have the ability to walk into an NFL huddle locker room and be the biggest freak in a room full of freaks or a huddle full of freaks, it's just next level stuff. I remember being around Calvin Johnson as a rookie, just being like, this dude is barely playing the same sport I'm playing, and he barely knows what we're running, but he's just that good. So to have people like that, I think, difference makers in that level, something really special. Oh man, Eric Snyder coming in with some randomness with the. Oh, we got just over 500 for a hot second. I thought I was about to like drop it all down. You guys are going to make me struggle to get off this thing. And I'm not, it's not early here. It's got to be super not early for people on the East Coast. My goodness, I don't understand how you even try to pretend to watch sports like that. I struggled when I was over there. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the regret thing is one of those things that I feel like, you know, some of those teams in the top 10 were not going to draft a quarterback. And that's just the reality of it. Now, I always think, you know, I've always just appreciated from a distance that unless you have a difference maker that you know for sure is a difference maker, potential, you know, Hall of Famer type, in my opinion, or long-time starter, decade starter, that it's almost always better to trade back to get more picks, because more picks to me equals more opportunities to be right, because it's all a crapshoot. So if I can get more rolls at the dice, I got more opportunities to hit a home run or hit a triple, hit a double. If I'm just picking where I'm at, over the long haul, there's a potential to have less picks, and especially when you move up, because you're essentially theoretically losing picks on the back end. So, you know, I don't know. Oh man, Brady Kanye. That's an interesting question that I've never gotten before in my life. Favorite energy drink while on the field? I never drank an energy drink on the field. I used to crush 5-hour energies with Billy Bullock when we were in San Diego together. I was never a really big energy drink guy. Well, that's not true. I drink a lot of coffee. So if you drink coffee before a game, I was definitely there for that. I love you guys coming in hot and late. I do appreciate the support. It's fun to see everybody checking in. Appreciate it, Eugene. I am drinking, for those who are coming in midway through this. This is a CBC, or Coronado Brew Co. Orange Avenue Wit. Orange Avenue is like the main street in the town that I live at, which is Coronado. So there you go. Christian Soldier coming in hot with the Brady 2.0. That might be a bit of a stretch, bro. I'm not going to lie, for anybody. It's not any type of pressure I would want to put on anybody. I think it'll be fascinating to see if Mac Jones is that. I mean, has Belichick ever drafted a quarterback in the first round? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was a second-round pick, maybe off the top of my head. Tyler Russell, my man, boom. What kind of qualities should the Falcons be looking for in a backup QB for Matt Ryan? Mobile or pocket, veteran or rookie? Tyler, the best available. I don't think it does anybody any good to think of it as like in either or things like that, like dual threat, pocket, mobile, etc. I think they identify whoever they think gives them the best opportunity to win and develop, and they go from there. I couldn't tell you who the backup is in Atlanta right now, but you know, whoever's playing quarterback is going to have a pretty good opportunity to be successful with the weapons that they have out there. That's for sure. I certainly would want to throw to Kyle Pitts, man. That you turn on that Florida film and it's scary how good he is. So I'm fascinated to see how that will translate into that division. And that division is one of my like favorite divisions, kind of like on the low. Obviously, you got the Buccaneers coming back with everything they're coming back with. I like a lot of what the Panthers look like they potentially have. I know people probably aren't as high on Sam Darnold as I am and have been, but seeing what they're doing, seeing what Joe Brady does next time around, and then seeing what, you know, happens with the quarterback situation in New Orleans, what ends up happening there, who plays there, what that looks like, and then offensively, skill-wise, Atlanta, that perimeter is pretty special. Boom. Jackson David, ba-boom. My man, coming in hot. Where do you think a good fit for Davis Mills? I could see the Falcons or the Washington football team. Yeah, I don't know about the Washington football team. I'm a big fan of Davis Mills. You know, I think he falls right into this next tier. I personally don't have him quite as high as Kellen Mond, but I could certainly see a team falling in love with kind of what he looks like and how he fits into their system, what they ask him to do. I think probably if I was playing quarterback, where would I rather go? I would much rather go to Atlanta. Obviously, you want to go somewhere where you're going to get a chance to play. What that looks like, there is probably not that great compared to the Washington football team. But it will be. I'm honestly interested to see what happens with this next tier. To me, it's Kellen Mond, Trask, Davis Mills. Does someone trade up because they really identify with one of those guys to maybe come up and push somebody who's playing? Are they trying to add depth? Are they trying to get a backup? What does that look like? All fascinating storylines for me. I don't necessarily have like a favorite spot. Again, I know it's hard when many people are fans of a team, but I don't necessarily think in just that lens where I'm thinking, oh, this guy's a great fit for what we do schematically. Like I'm thinking more, he projects like this or he projects like that. And it doesn't matter what kind of system he's in. To me, I think that Kellen Mond has a better skill set than those other two guys and projects a little bit better. Doesn't mean that all 32 teams think that. In fact, I will tell you that they don't. So we'll see how it all shakes out. Connor, do you think Ian Book would get drafted? Yes, I do. It'll be. I mean, I know people probably are getting tired of talking about it, but the Aaron Rodgers storyline was just fascinating on so many different levels. I know it will take a little while to settle in, and probably some people in Green Bay have some hurty feelings. But man, he did them dirty with the draft day timing, how that thing shucked down, and how he just hijacked the storyline on this thing. And then, God forbid, if they trade the reigning MVP, or what that looks like moving him, or what happens if he, calls it quits, or all those types of things where I just love seeing players use their leverage to get what they want. You might not agree with them. You might not, you might be frustrated if you're a fan of the team, or you kind of are anti this guy or that guy. But for me, when a player uses their leverage to get what they want, even if it, doesn't necessarily benefit your team or your situation, I just think it's refreshing in a league that, is kind of, for most players' experiences, kind of chews them up and spits them out. When a player has leverage to take advantage of that, control the storyline, control the impact, all those types of things, I really dig. So, yup. Nick Scott, Kramer. Peter Wilson, my man. That's a good one to end on. We got 500 of our closest friends. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Smash or flood, Peter Wilson. I'm gonna. This is not a great answer. I don't love either. If I had to pick one, I would probably pick flood, just because to me it's a 3-level layer, and the smash is kind of a high-low. So you only have 2 options. I always want more options. So more options, more better. So I would pick flood, but I don't like either. Butch Davis, appreciate you. Got some members coming in today. Again, if you want to, just a quick little tidbit, if you wonder why I'm able to kind of call out some people that I recognize. Zach Davis, my man. It's because they're members, and I can see the tag, the logo after their names, and you can sign up for that on the Quarterback School homepage. The longer you're a member, it changes colors. You get access to a few different ways to make fun of me with different emojis, those types of things. Easy way to support the channel, and I appreciate the support, certainly. Again, do me a favor, check out the free Quarterback School course if you haven't signed up for it. Free. Click the link in the description in the live stream. Sign up for the free course, 6 videos, quick game. You're trying to get better at football, have a better understanding of it. Gives you a nice little kind of sneak peek on how the courses are set up, and I appreciate the support for the channel. Again, pretty crazy. Over 500 of us hanging out, supporting this thing. I will try my best to do some more of these draft ones. Tomorrow's going to be tough because we have a high school football banquet during the time of the draft, so I probably won't be able to do one tomorrow, but probably circle back over the weekend and try again. Again, pretty crazy. It's come and gone just like that. Be fascinated to see what the 49ers Bear fans think here moving forward, but I'm certainly excited for them. Excited for really all the quarterbacks. Really excited for all these guys. Hopefully they all get an opportunity to succeed, but that's just not reality at the league. So we'll see how this thing shakes up. And again, I appreciate the support. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me when you share content across different platforms. So feel free to tag me. I'll do my best to share that. And again, I appreciate the support. I'll see you on the other side. Have a good night. Cheers. Draft come and gone just like that. Round 1.